Welcome back, my friends. Yes, it is that time once again. And if you felt that tremor in the force over the last 2 weeks, well, that's because there was a DCEU film released. Yes, Wonder Woman 84 came out streaming theaters. And yeah, the divisiveness of the internet and DCU fans just permeated the internet. I got a chance to watch it with my oldest son, honorable son number one, and my wife. And, we'll get to that in a minute. But it is directed again by Patty Jenkins, who wrote the story, but she didn't do the screenplay. Screenplay was done by Expendables' Dave Callahan. And we have the story taking place in 1984, where Wonder Woman has been trying to keep a low profile, though not doing very well as she goes out and tries to save people, and a wonderful scene in a mall, which got me a little nostalgic as well. And so, yeah, she gets a chance to kick ass, and we see she's still saving people while also being a Diana Prince at the museum and curating things. Well, while at the museum, she gets a new employee named Barbara Minerva, played by Kristen Wiig, and we see how Barbara is kind of, she's to herself and, not very personable or whatnot, but after she has an encounter with an artifact that looks like a big crystal that offers your one true wish, things start to change for Barbara. Also enter in Maxwell Lord, who's looking for this stone for his own personal nefarious purposes. And we see how Wonder Woman has to deal with the consequences from this stone that impact both Barbara and Maxwell Lord's life, as well as Wonder Woman's own life as a familiar face has returned. That's just one of the things, most of the things going on in Wonder Woman 84. I enjoyed this film. Now, my wife and honorable son number one enjoyed it as well, but they did have issues with a number of things in the film. I recognize it for its stumbling blocks, but overall, I think the theme of the movie about truth shines through. It does have a bit of an enlightening tone to it. It's trying to pick you up and have a positive feel for you by the end of the film, and I did have a positive feel, though I know many people didn't. Everybody does great with the material they're given. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman proves that she was the appropriate person to pick for this role. She really fits this role well, and she shines in here, as does Kristen Wiig, who we're used to seeing doing comedy, and here playing Barbara Minerva, who kind of gets darker and darker as the movie goes along. I liked her transformation as well, and where they went with her character. And Pedro Pascal going over the top, not nearly as much as he probably could have, but he still does a pretty wild Maxwell Lord. And I'm not too familiar with these characters from the comics. I guess they took liberties with them, but I enjoyed the characters that we got on screen. There's a flashback scene in the beginning, so we get to see Robin Wright back, as well as Connie Nielsen, and Lily Aspel playing young Diana again, like she did in the first Wonder Woman. Listen to me now. We need a series or a standalone movie with this talented young actress playing the young Diana, getting more of a window into Diana's childhood, because the scene, the flashback scene we get in here is so exciting, and people will say, well, you better get used to it because you don't get a lot of superhero action. And no, you don't, but there's still a lot of things going on. And they felt like they were also trying to grab that spirit of 80s films. So that may take some people aback as well, especially considering the tone of the first film. I enjoyed it quite a bit. That I will admit that one angle they took to bring Chris Pine back as Steve Trevor is a bit creepy, but at the same time, I could see what they were going for, and I didn't really have a huge problem with it. Though the more I thought about it, I go, yeah, okay, that does make for awkward scenes, and the wife and honorable son number one definitely went back and forth with me right after the movie on that matter. And I'm trying not to spoil it too much, but let's just say they made a decision that they could have gone a different way with it, and I can see how it is a bit creepy, but for me, it didn't take me out of the movie, and I didn't even really think about it too much. There's some new stuff going on. The visuals in here, they do try to use as much practical as possible, but there is CGI that looks really good. In some spots, it looks a little rough, but this is still a superhero film It was entertaining. I got what I wanted out of it, and it is a different film from the first one, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but especially if you're expecting that, you may go in and feel very disappointed. I had no problems with this film. While it's not the upper end of my favorite DCEU films, it's definitely one that I still didn't feel like I wasted my time on by any means, and by the end of it, I wanted to watch it again. So there you have it, folks. Wonder Woman 84. I give it 3.5 stubs. 3.5 stubs for Wonder Woman 84. I think it's still worth a watch, especially if you enjoy the DCEU films, though some of those fans are having problems with this movie. And yeah, you know, it just... We never used to... Here's a great example. If you saw Superman 2... Okay, this has a spirit of Superman 2 to it, and especially what they do with Wonder Woman at one point. So there you have it, folks. Please subscribe, thumbs up, and all that. I love to hear your constructive thoughts on Wonder Woman 84. Head over to our Patreon as well. Got great tiers is there. I thank you for your support. Have a happy new year, and keep that ticket stub.